We're gonna do a little story time why we will never get that Epstein list. So the reason why is, I don't know if you guys know about Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn was Trump's lawyer, kind of his mentor, helping Trump get through a lot of tough times. That's including the discrimination lawsuit that Trump had over his father's hotel. If you guys know, you guys know. Well, Roy Cohn had a massive connection with the intelligence agencies, CIA black sites, as well as J. Edgar Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover had a whole bunch of blackmail going over him around DC and such about J. Edgar Hoover being a cross-dresser, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we're not going to talk about. Cohn essentially built these favor banks. So what Cohn did was he would collect the dirt on judges, mafia, whoever, and then he would use that dirt to brokerage deals and, certain positions, getting people in certain government positions. In a lot of ways, Trump even says he got his playbook from Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn taught Trump how to punch back 10 times harder. So a lot of these tactics that we see about Trump going hard on whoever, these are Roy Cohn tactics. Other tactics that Roy Cohn taught Trump, you guys are going to find this funny, was to never admit defeat and always claim victory after defeat, in addition of attacking aggressively, always. Now you guys probably know, that's like Trump's whole motto. It's what he pretty much builds his whole entire political career off of. He never claims fault. He always claims he won even after losing. So these are all coming from Roy Cohn. Now, why does this matter? Why does this whole Roy Cohn Trump stuff matter to Epstein? Now, the reason why this all matters with the Epstein and Roy Cohn and Trump is that Epstein essentially runs this operation in the 21st century where Roy Cohn was running this in the 19th century. And I'm not saying Roy Cohn connects Trump to Epstein or Epstein and Cohn and Trump. No. What I'm saying is Epstein understands how this espionage blackmail operation techniques work, and through his own financial endeavors and going up the financial ladder, which is its own little, wormhole, he instills the tactics that Roy Cohn does, but magnifies it and embeds it with more of entrapment measures. Now, Epstein was in the New York and Palm Beach scene. Now, Epstein's own brokerage, J. Epstein, whatever brokerage, he only dealt with billionaires. That puts him in the same room, same scene as Trump, as well as many other wealthy and politician and successful people. And Epstein's own brokerage, that's how he got connected with Les Wexner, and he pretty much, part of the contract was you sign over all of your assets, you sign over everything, he manages it, he takes a flat fee. And that's how he kind of got the whole bankroll from Les Wexner. Now, because Epstein was running up this big network of people, super wealthy, he ended up meeting Trump, being friends with Trump for 10 to 15 years. Now, that's friends for 10 to 15 years. That's a pretty good friendship if you ask me. And because Trump knew Epstein, he also knew Ghislaine Maxwell, even telling her he wishes her well when she got arrested and whatnot. And in 2002, Trump even calls Epstein a terrific guy. Now, in 2017, Epstein even calls Trump one of his closest friends. So, to add even more tea, in 2003, Trump hosted a celebration for Bill Clinton at Mar-a-Lago, and Epstein was invited. Now, given Epstein's whole network and everyone he's working for, his whole goal is to build up this blackmail operation so he could get favors and pull off little strings on the side. And we know he does this because this is the same thing that Roy Cohn does, and Roy Cohn being Trump's mentor. So really the big reason why I bring up Roy Cohn is to instill that these are not new practices. These practices have been going on forever. It's just now in the modern times they're a little bit different because now we're using different blackmail strategies. We're instilling it in more political atmospheres as well as business and financial terms. And so why would Trump ever admit that, this list exists? I mean, obviously they've admitted it. They've talked about this multiple times, but why would he ever put himself at fault? Roy Cohn's tactics is to never say you're at fault. Never give it up. Trump knows this will not make him look good. For him, it doesn't matter. It's about not admitting guilt. He knows he will be listed in there. He knows who knows what he did. I'm not saying he did, things with, minors or anything like that, because we don't know until we know. But no matter what, it does not make him look good. Now, me saying that is also not saying that it's a guarantee he didn't. I'm just saying we don't have definitive proof. But we do have definitive proof that he was good friends with Epstein. He did fly with him. He did have Epstein at parties. He did visit Epstein in New York. So, And why does Trump say this list doesn't exist? And then he says that it exists, but is built by the Obama and Clinton people. It doesn't make them look any better, especially Bill Clinton. The list being made by the Clintons is that's like suicide. That doesn't make any sense. It's just the worst way of deflection, of him trying to get out of it, and he's praying that the MAGA supporters will just forgive him or forget about it. But I don't think he put enough weight for how much the MAGA supporters actually value this list. We gotta go back to QAnon and all of this other stuff, which, a lot of these people love Trump for conspiratorial reasons, draining the swamp, so they're big suckers for the Epstein List, QAnon, and whatnot. Trump thinks he could kind of fool them, and the reality is, no. Matter of fact, this is actually going to turn his whole internet conspiracy base completely against him. It is one of the worst fumbles ever in our modern political sphere. Now, the reality is, both political parties are complicit. This is a huge, 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 huge fumble for both political spectrums. It's why the Democrats never release it, because it'll make them look awful. And it's why Trump will never release it, because it's going to make him look awful. Now, I know I didn't provide a lot of sources. I didn't provide screenshots or whatnot. So if you guys want me to do a deeper dive or me to dive into other topics that I know about, I'd be more than willing to.